Guys, so this is probably like the last time we're going to do anything on this subject because it is, I am just so sick and fucking tired about hearing of them. We talked about it the other day. They want this. They want the attention. This is why Anna and Cenk have been screaming for the last week about how Jimmy this, how everybody is sexist and all this other bullshit, right? Like there's a little bit of nuances because I'm not going to say that what he said was absolutely perfect because it wasn't. But at the same time, there's a weaponization of this. And I hate when people weaponize these issues, particularly the Me Too movement, to fucking lie and spread like complete and total bullshit about people and weaponize it for political points because they can't defend themselves on actual data, on actual like logical like points because they're wrong and they don't want to admit they're wrong. So they have to divert your attention into something that has absolutely nothing to do with the discussion at hand. It has nothing to do with Syria or the bullshit that they were talking about Syria. It has nothing to do with Julian Assange and how they tied him to Russiagate and they were saying he was a Russian. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're NATO-backed, mainstream media light network now, TYT, that Anna Kasparian has worked for NATO, has been funded by NATO, that she does softball interviews to Madeleine Albright and then complains about everybody else, literally Greenwald, the Gray Zone, Jimmy, whoever, like going on Fox, all these things that they're attacking people who are exposing them, right? And so
let's put up the tombstone real quick though. Here's
the TYT network.
Can I read it real quick?
Yes.
TYT
Let's
network.
have a moment of silence.
February 14th, 2002 to July 15th, 2001. Of course, fam. Let's have this funeral and be done talking.
And be done talking about.
Because I'm done talking about Anna. I am done talking about Cenk. I am done with this shit. They are. Listen, even if Jimmy Dore wasn't around, fam, they would still be fucking falling apart and dying because they suck. They took that money, and once they took that money, they were bought.
Right.
And once they were bought, their whole business model, their whole ideology went to shit because now you're working $24 million. Now you're working for those people who we were fighting against.
Right. So let's just start real quick. I have a yikes here. Jonny posted
Tsunami.
this. Jonny didn't know about these videos. I've seen some of them. I haven't seen all of them. And some of them were like, holy shit. Wow, I can't even believe. Okay. So this is TYT's Cenk Uygur in 2012, right? Launching a misogynist, sexist, and homophobic tirade on the University of Chicago cheerleader. University of Georgia cheerleader. I'm thinking Chicago right now. And let's just watch this because it's really, you guys should, the reason I'm showing this is because of the hypocrisy and how nasty they are and how if any of us ever did anything remotely close to this, we would be fucking shut down.
On the internet, I was like, "Oh, geez, Lord mercy." At first, I was wondering if it was photoshopped, right? But it turns out it's not. She's real, right?
It looks photoshopped. I mean, her arms look unbelievable.
Take a full screen on it. Yeah. Oh no. And I heard there was a debate on this. There's no debate. I'm ending the debate. I don't have my gavel with me, but I'll use my fist. 999. No way. No way. Not even close.
No way. What? Like there's a debate.
Not even I'd be worried that she was going to break something of mine during sex, and I'm much more worried that she's going to pull out a jammy on me.
She actually doesn't. Oh, yeah, she does. Never mind. I was going to say she doesn't look so bad in that picture, but this one.
There's an excellent chance she's a male.
No, okay, look. Here's the thing. I'm not going to go quite as far.
Look at how long her arms are.
I'm not going to go quite as far as you have.
I don't want to find out what's under that skirt.
Okay, just calm down.
Are we sure this isn't Photoshop? That looks like the longest arm in the world. And right there's no way I would hook up with her. I think, no way, man. I don't want to find out what's going on downstairs. How large are her hands?
She hits the gym. I don't see the crazy freakiness about it.
I see how you roll.
What is the thing? It's like, well, yeah, and I see how you roll. You're afraid of women.
That's your big hero right there that does that to women, looks up their skirt and then laughs at them.
So I want to be clear about something. I love our members, but I want to be clear about who we are and the kind of audience we want to foster, because this isn't just about building an audience, it's about building a movement. We want fighters beside us, and we want people who have the right ethics and morals to do this with us, right? If you watch that and you think there wasn't a big deal, I think that was totally fine. I don't want you in our audience. you are not part of what we're trying to do. Because I don't want that toxicity. I don't want that culture as part of anything we do at TYT, whether it's internal in the office or external with our audience, period. That's it.
Okay, whoever did this video, thank you so much for doing that.
Take the cloak of virtuosity off me, please.
First
now
of all,
we have standards now.
First of all, I have to say, I would never make comments about a woman or anybody's body like that. First of all, that just goes without saying. Second of all, I have been accused of being so many things, anti this, anti that, like like because I ever said something nice about Tulsi Gabbard, right? And it's like, oh, I was uncomfortable even listening.
That was
them.
On the air. That
like,
was live.
To them refer to this woman who is buff as potentially like mocking her, like her sexuality, whether she's a man or a woman.
Skirt.
I was uncomfortable just listening to that right now. And like, it's just crazy to me. The level, the sheer hypocrisy that these people have. Sure, that was years ago. They could have come around. I never saw an apology video from them saying, hey, this was wrong. There was never any sort of, we shouldn't have said this, blah, blah, blah. Like none of that, right? And now they're bringing back old shit, like Pasta says, to attack somebody's character, to paint somebody as a sexist and blah, blah, blah. And you don't have to agree with what Dore said. In fact, you can even call it out and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't have said that. However, you have to acknowledge the weaponization here that is being used against him, because this didn't just start. They have been going after this man. They've been going after everybody who exposes them as frauds, because that's what they are. And so now the reason we're showing this is because imagine if Pasta said any of that. Like, imagine if I said any of that. Like, imagine if that was like how they still have any support. People still, Ryan Grimm out there vouching for them. You got freaking the Humanist Report. You got David Dole. You got all these people still defending them and saying, but Jimmy Dore.
Yeah.
How do you defend that? It's defensible.
Number one, they have no right to say this stuff because of their own actions. They should shut the hell up. And we obviously know why they're doing this. They're getting beat up on their journalism. So they go to this because their propaganda and their lack of journalism, we should say.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can go out there and now use this here. And, once again, you don't have to like what Jimmy Dore said. But guess what? He apologized for it, too.
Yeah.
He wrote a letter. He was being sincere, like, hey, man, I'm sorry. And stuff. Like, usually this stuff is handled behind closed doors. Big difference if he touched her, grabbed her ass, did something like that. And, also in the workplace, quid pro quo, when you say, okay, the only way you get a raise, fam, is if you give me a little favors and then we give you a raise. And if I was your boss, that's something to really seriously look into. And somebody should be banished for that. But here's Jimmy being a man, making a mistake, then owning up to his mistake, writing a letter, and then just pulling this out of the closet right now to demonize and to shut him down, because they understand the culture of what's going on nowadays, and they can weaponize this stuff to really try to hurt his character. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that, him dealing with this whole situation is not something, it's not a moment he's proud of. I'm pretty sure of that, you know what I'm saying, like that. But right now, after what happened yesterday and the way he did his show and stuff like that, I am asking Jimmy, and I usually would never do this on camera, put it to rest. Don't talk about these people anymore. What's done is done. These people aren't worthy of our breath. They're fakes. They're phonies. They're paid off by the deep state. You've cleared your name. You've said what you've had to say. People are going to judge you by what the evidence is out there. We see all this stuff like that. But now, Jimmy, let's put this shit to rest. Don't even mention these assholes' names, these Sam Cedars, these TYTs, these Ryan Grimms. They're not worthy of it anymore. And without you, even if you weren't here, they'd still be a dying breed, because their brand, who they work for, they suck. They suck. They really do fucking suck. They're sitting out there talking about chemical attacks, twisting the narrative when it's been debunked how many fucking times. They still want to, once again, the same thing like the last section. Well, you don't want to call out Russia's imperialism and Putin's bad. We can do both. No, why are you doing that? Because you want to manufacture consent for your bosses, TYT, to do what they want to do. And we know who your bosses are.
And it gets worse, because I don't even think Jimmy saw this. They did this a few years ago.
Well, he put it up, right?
Yeah. Well, he said, wow. But like, this was from Primo.
Primo Radical.
And yeah, let's just play some of this again. Some people don't know.
Yeah.
Genuinely don't know.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Eva Longoria flashed her panties.
Oh,
Except,
okay. This is Young Turk style story. I like this. When the story has no purpose other than, come on, let's show you Eva Longoria's panties.
No, but her panties are very surprising because, hold on, before we show the picture.
Have you obtained it?
I've obtained photos of her panties. Okay. But before we look at them, I want to go to the peanut gallery. And I want to ask, what kind of panties, well, actually, they might have already seen the pictures.
Well,
JR,
says.
Have you seen the picture of Eva Longoria's panties? Okay, what type of panties do you think Eva Longoria wears?
Let me give you my real guess.
Okay.
Something cutie, like teddy bears on it, or balloons, or lollipops, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. She wears something known as Spanx. Let's go to the picture.
I don't know what that is. Ooh, I can't see the panties, but I'm still having fun.
Okay, let me tell you what Spanx are.
I know a couple of guys that are Spanxing right now.
Ew. How do you feel sexy wearing Spanx?
It looks good to me. I don't know. Am I
that
crazy?
turns you on?
I think
they're
so.
Wait. Hold on. They're like nude biker shorts.
Yeah. Okay, look, so let me understand what's happening here, because I can't understand that picture too much. I can't see her panties. Can you see her panties?
Yeah.
Or are they referring to the whole thing she's wearing on her leg?
We don't need to see.
First of all, her legs are.
I mean,
yeah. Like I first of all, I would never waste my fucking time talking about what a celebrity wears on whatever. It's just gross, dude. It's just gross. Like, it's just so nasty and uncomfortable, and I don't want to hear it. You guys can watch it. Yeah. Jimmy has talked about it. Jimmy posted this next one. The two people in the video are accusing me of inappropriate conduct because I criticized their horrible journalism and shady business practices. That's why they're doing this. This is exactly why they're doing this, right? Yeah. Here is the appropriate, quote, work environment that it created at TYT. For years, they produced a segment, Can You Spot the Camel Toe? This was a fucking segment. A segment. Like, this is worse than, I haven't even seen this kind of shit in, like, E! Or TMZ. Like, this is like TMZ right here. Like, worse, right? And
Alex Jones wouldn't do this type of shit.
Alex Jones
wouldn't do this type of shit.
Imagine if a Fox person exactly did this right now. Do you see the level of outrage that these progressives would all have? Like, oh my God, we can't believe this right winger, sexist. Trump was a pussy grabber. Like, what? Where's the outrage for this?
But fam, Jimmy talked about my jeans, and I don't want to talk about the toxicity he's bringing, and I don't want that culture here. But let's take a look at my old show. It goes, Spot the Camel Toe. Here you go.
We'll play a little bit.
I'd like to begin the entertainment segment by asking you to identify the camel toe.
Oh boy.
Okay, so we have obtained a photo of a celebrity's camel toe. It is a close-up, so I'm off the kids if they've never seen a gine. Let's go to the picture.
Gine.
Let's do a little close-up. Who's camel toe?
Oh, for the love of God!
Take a while to guess.
All right, bring me back to the non-close-up. I've had enough with the close-up. Interesting. Who is that? Huh. Okay, I got it. I don't even know what sexy is. What is that?
It's like saying sexy.
Oh, sexy. Okay, I got it.
All right,
Oz. She seems to be a brunette.
All right, so just
Did you spot the camel toe thing?
Yeah. And then here. I just want to show the title here of Jimmy's next tweet.
If you scroll down real quick,
you'll be able to see it. He said TYT's response to criticism was to McCarthyite smear award-winning anti-war journalist Aaron Matei. Now they're desperate to change the narrative while their feeble attempt at blackmailing me. Again, here's an example of the work. You can see it right there if you just scroll down a little bit there. Here's an example of the work environment these two smear merchants created, of course, and he worked with them, so he knows. This is the title of one of their segments, Amanda Congdon, Real Talent or Just Big Tits. There you go. That's not toxic at all. And then what started all of this was me exposing Cenk Uygur, repeating CIA talking points and smearing Julian Assange, which he absolutely did. In this bizarre rant, Cenk Uygur accuses Julian Assange of being a Trumper. At the same moment, Trump was trying to kill him. He is now trying to smear me in the same way. We've seen Cenk Uygur. Let's play a little bit of the video because it's important to point out the reasons actually aren't even, bringing these things up with what they used to talk about. It's because of what they're doing.
Obviously, it's hard to tell who's telling the truth here.
But lately, I have to confess that WikiLeaks has not had an astounding record. The way that Assange seems to be backing Donald Trump over and over and over again, it makes me very seriously question Assange's efforts to actually be a journalist and not to be a partisan. And I get it. I get why he hates the Democrats. They're trying to put him in prison. Okay,
right. But
at the same time,
so are Republicans. Let's be clear about that.
And now the Republicans are too, and they have been in the past. But it seems like Assange has picked a side, and look, it makes me question his reporting, and so that's the situation we're in now. So now is he just leaking things that he gets, and no matter what? In which case, I would respect that. Or is he selectively leaking based on his political motives? Now that suspicion is out there and it's real and it's possible, well, now I'm concerned that it can't be trusted.
Okay, so that to me is more damaging than anything he could have possibly ever said. Obviously, it's less offensive, but it's more damaging. Why? Because he is saying WikiLeaks can't be trusted, that Assange is partisan, which is completely lie. WikiLeaks has 100% accuracy rating. Like they haven't had to retract a story, unlike TYT. So, and unlike the New York Times, unlike the Washington Post, unlike all these fucking propagandists, and then just blatantly just accusing him of being a Trumper all of a sudden with no evidence. They do this. They literally make accusations with no evidence. Oh, you're getting paid by Russia, or you're getting paid by Assad. Like with no evidence. With
no evidence. Well, let's just connect the dots, right? TYT got a check for $24 million from Jerry Katzenberg. Jerry Katzenberg, a big Hillary Clinton supporter. Hillary Clinton wanted to drone Julian Assange, right? Okay, so it's just all connected. Also, Madeleine Albright, Bill Clinton's Secretary of State, right? Gets a softball interview. It's all connected. TYT is bought and paid for. They are now dead. We're going to put them to rest for good, and you should too. They are done, completely done, and laugh for nothing, ladies and gentlemen. They're right around the corner from us. We go out to events all the time. Do you ever fucking see anybody from TYT? We saw Emma once when she worked for TYT in New Hampshire.
And that was Emma. That wasn't even Emma.
That wasn't even freaking Chunk. So let's put them to fucking rest. Fam, what else you got?
And just if you scroll down, Oz, you can see Misty did 2 replies where you guys can see 2 other videos they did on the tweet. There's one they did that was tweet. Like Chelsea Clinton hot. Amanda, just a bunch of a bunch of these Britney Spears, just like stupid nasty shit that's not news. It's not, what are you covering here? And that was way back when. Like I didn't know about it then, right? It was just, it's gross. So I wanted to point that out, and I think that's pretty much most of it.
Yeah, the Frank analysis
Frank said TYT is done. You're next, Sam Seder, because this is out of everything that's happening. This is what Sam Seder is that Nomiki. And
is that Nomiki Konst?
And Emma, I don't know who it is actually.
Yeah, I can just tell you this much right now, that he's trying to twist the narrative. We have seen how Sam Seder is obsessed with Jimmy Dore, the whole Jimmy. And Sam is desperately trying to bait out Jimmy Dore to have a conversation with him or a debate with him. And you know what? I used to be like, Jimmy, go fucking kick his ass. Now, you know what?
Don't give him attention.
He ain't even worth your time. This guy is done. Emma's on the show right now. The leftovers from TYT. These people need to be put to sleep for good. They're not real journalists. They're stenographers, and they care about their fucking wallets more than anything else. They're not down for the truth. So it's time we're done with them. Let's show the Sam Seder video of him desperately trying to go without Jimmy Dore.
Yep.
There's a reason why Jimmy said, will not actually mention my name, where has cut out from interviews that he's done where people have referenced me, has cut them out. But yet, will every time Glenn Greenwald says something critical about me, will like it. And because I humiliated him. I didn't humiliate him by talking about like his, bad dye job at the time, or any of that stuff, or his, sort of loser career up until the point where he got on TYT. None of that. I humiliated him because I showed that he didn't know what he was talking about, even though I had given him advance warning that I was doing it and invited him on and all that. And I humiliated him on the show, so much so that, he had invited me onto his show, but then privately said like, no, I can't do it. And for years. And that humiliation has lasted with him. And so this is the way that he trades about it, but it is, you can see it embedded in here, his inability to say, like, I did something wrong. Never articulates, I did something wrong. It's, I just made a joke that everybody thought was funny because she was so inappropriately dressed. And then she got humiliated, and I felt bad because I was her friend and I saw her get humiliated. That's what you do.
No, but first he says she was humiliated, and she was like essentially right to be humiliated. But I was magnanimous, of course.
Exactly. Like, he's describing the actions you take if you watch someone else humiliate them, and you write, like, I'm sorry you went through that, and I feel bad I didn't say anything to that person.
Right.
Not if you're the perpetrator. You articulate that what you did, like, he can't even articulate that what he did was wrong. He's just saying, like, I just, too funny.
But you got to it, Sam, though. Like, he is insecure about his comedy career, and the low-hanging fruit in his mind due to his misogyny that just is like what his worldview is, right? Is to take it out on a woman rather than take it on you, Sam.
Okay, so like again, this is the type of the progressive contingent that weaponizes, women's issues, the Me Too movement, etc., but completely misses the mark on calling out their own who have been continuously engaged in that type of environment. Again, you don't have to agree with how Jimmy Dore handled the situation at all to understand that this is being weaponized. And it's so petty to me. I'm just angry that this is even happening and it's taking up space. But the reason we're going over it is because we're fucking done with TYT, and you guys can hate us for being done. And it's not going to get the clicks and all that shit always gets, this whole like, ooh, war between. But these people do need to be exposed. And the people like Sam Seder and all these people are next. Franco said it. You're next. You're fucking next. And we have been talking about TYT being awful here on FCSC. But one of the people that really, really brought up the receipts, Robbie Receipts, has been talking about this for a long time and for the right reasons. He wasn't going with hanging fruit like they go after Jimmy for his hair or his comedy, or you see how they're like children. It's like high school. He was talking about the money, follow the money. He said, I wrote the definitive piece on TYT's billionaire funding back in 2019 before it was cool. It wasn't just Katzenberg. He wasn't even the main investor, much less the only DNC mega donor to throw them cash. For those who didn't know, welcome to the party. And he has right here, if you haven't seen this article, check it out, the ideological failure of the Young Turks. And if you go to the article, you will see literally he lists all the donors, the receipts, all of this. When he put this out, people were going after him. They were smearing him. They were attacking him. They were attacking Niko. They were attacking. And what? Oh, 2 years later, like I told Steve just now, like, get used to it. This is what happens all the time. Oh, sorry. You were right. Okay. Guys, this is all for everybody to understand. Start paying attention to the people who are censored, to the people who are smeared, to the people who have been right about literally every single issue, because it's not that difficult to predict things if you actually pay attention. And so you guys can read it yourself. He has all the links, all the receipts here. It's the donors. It's like you said, that is just one. Katzenberg is one little layer. There's so many more. And I highly, highly recommend Robbie Yeager's work because he's exposing people left and right with receipts. And it's been amazing to see his journey thus far. He was on this from the start. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and it really just presents you the two choices that you can make, right? You can go down this path or that path. You want to go down the path of money, just spewing the narrative of the predator class. You play ball. You won't be, demonetized. You won't be censored. We'll lift you up. We'll give you some airtime. We'll get you this and that. Or if you want to tell the truth and you don't want to talk about the narrative that we want to put out there, you're going to be demonetized. You're going to get strikes. Look what happened to Matty Orff. They went back and they took out videos that he had on private. They weren't even to the public. They went. It's like you said, fam. It's like they went into your computer and punished you for shit you had in your own personal computer that you didn't even put out there in the real world. Those are the two choices. TYT made that choice a long time ago, right? And it was a slow death. And now it's time to, if you want to give him a military burial, I don't give a shit. But it's time for let's put them to sleep. Like I said, out there, that's it, guys. Don't talk about these assholes anymore. Let's not give them any more fuel for their fire because they've proven and they've shown their colors. It's time. It's done. Let's put them to bed. Let's put them to rest. R.I.P. TYT.
R.I.P. TYT, fam.
R.I.P. TYT.